What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here and welcome back to another PS4 modding tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up the WebKit exploit for firmware version 1.76 on your PS4. This is pretty much the biggest exploit that's out for the PS4 right now. It allows you to do stuff like load GTA mod menus, XRPC mod tools for Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. It lets you change your home screen images, connect to your PS4 through FTP, and even install Linux operating systems and run Linux operating systems on your PS4 as well. So quite a lot of cool stuff you can do with this WebKit exploit. So I've already made a video of this in the past, but it's quite an outdated video now. Even the link to the WebKit Playground I used in that video doesn't work anymore. So I feel it's worth making a new video on this. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to go ahead and do is make sure your PS4 is on the firmware version 1.76. If it's not, if you've updated past 1.76, and you can find out your firmware version by heading into settings, going to system, and then heading to system information at the top, and you can see mine's on 1.76, so it must be on 1.76. If you've updated past 1.76, then unfortunately you cannot downgrade to 1.76. I do have a video showing you how to buy a console that is guaranteed to be on 1.76 or below, so I'll link that in the description. But otherwise 1.76 is what you need to be on. If you're below 1.76, I'm going to show you guys how to update to 1.76 first. However, I will put a link on screen right now that you can click to skip that section of the video if you are already on 1.76. So if you're already on 1.76, click that link and skip to the WebKit setup part. If you are not on 1.76 yet, you're below 1.76, then keep watching this segment to learn how to update to 1.76. So the first thing you want to do is, while you're in system, go into automatic downloads and uploads and make sure these two boxes are unchecked. Featured content and saved data and updated files needs to be turned off. That's very important. They may be labeled slightly differently if you're on a lower firmware than 1.76, and there may only be one checkbox, but just go into automatic downloads and uploads and disable any checkboxes that are in there, which will stop your console from updating to the latest firmware from PSN when you connect to your network. The other thing you want to do right now is make sure you're disconnected from the internet. So unplug your Ethernet cable, your network cable from the PS4. If you have wireless settings set up, then head into network and make sure you uncheck the connect to internet option in the network settings. And now you're ready to head over to the computer and download the update file to get us updated to 1.76. Okay guys, so once you're on the computer, you want to go ahead and download the update file. This link will be in the description. This is where you download the update from. Now, just to make sure that you're 100% on the correct update, in case this link changes at any point, which I don't think it will, but just to be sure, you're wanting to make sure that it says also included in Dragon Age Inquisition, and the release date should be the 20th of August 2014. If you've confirmed that, then you have the right update, and you want to go ahead and click the mega link down here and just go ahead and download through your browser. Once you have the file downloaded, go ahead and copy it to your desktop, and then what you want to do is put that on a USB stick. Now the USB stick must be formatted in FAT32 format, so the file system must be FAT32. It cannot be NTFS, it should be FAT32, and if it's not on FAT32, you just have to right click and format it and select FAT32 from the drop down list. I'm not sure if EXFAT works as well. EXFAT might work as well, I'm not sure, but just to be safe, format it in FAT32. Okay, so now what you want to do is go ahead and go into that USB stick, and you want to create a folder in this USB, in the root of the USB, called PS4 in uppercase, and then go into that folder and create another folder called update, also in uppercase, and then just go into that folder and drag your update file into that folder and just wait for it to transfer. Okay, and once the file is copied over there, all you want to do is just unplug that USB stick and plug it into one of the front USB ports on your PS4. So we'll switch back over to the PS4 and I'll show you guys what to do from there. Okay, so all you want to do is go to settings and head to system software update, And as you can see, I have 1.76 showing up, and I'm just going to click OK and start installing that update. Now once the update's installed, the PS4 will reboot and we will be on 1.76 firmware, ready to use the WebKit exploit. Okay, so with the update installed, we can go down and select System, and then select System Information, and you can see we're now updated to 1.76. Okay, so now that we're on 1.76, all you want to go ahead and do is get the WebKit exploit set up. So you want to first of all make sure that you plug in your network cable back into your PS4 now, or connect on Wi-Fi. So I'm using a network cable, so I'm just going to plug in my Ethernet cable to my PS4, and then I should get a notification that it's been connected. Oh, or not, I guess it only notifies you when it's disconnected. So with my network cable plugged in, I'm going to head to network and I'm going to switch on connect to internet again, and we should be fine. It should not download the latest firmware because we have, of course, we have that setting, those boxes unchecked in automatic downloads and uploads. So we're not going to, automatically start downloading anything now that we are connected to the internet. So now we've got the console connected to the internet, the next step is to set up the WebKit exploit. Now, okay, so the ultimate goal of this video is so that you'll be able to launch the internet browser and go straight to the WebKit Playground. However, right now if you try and run the internet browser, it's not going to work because it's going to say that you need to be signed into PSN. So we're going to install a patch that's going to allow us to use the internet browser even when we're not signed into PSN. So in order to do that though, we need to access the WebKit Playground at least once before we have access to the internet browser. So in order to do that, we can access it through the user guide by heading into the settings and heading to the user guide. But before you do that, you need to note down your IP address. So head into network, head into view connection status, and the fourth one down is your IP address, your local IP address on the network. You can see mine's 192.168.137.2. So note down yours, write it down or something if you won't remember it. And then once you have that noted down, head into the user guide, and we can now try and access the WebKit Playground, because this is basically the internet browser, except we don't have access to just search for a URL. So what we need to do is we need to try and navigate out of the user guide page and try and get onto Google, because once we get onto Google, we can then get onto the WebKit Playground. So what you want to do is head to support, and then what we want to do is try and get onto YouTube, which will get us closer to Google. So from here we can select news and then YouTube down here, and that takes us to their YouTube page. And from here, if I just pause this, because that's going to take up
Peggy 16.
quite a bit of system memory running that video. So we can scroll down to the bottom and we can select stuff like, plus YouTube, which will get us closer to Google Plus. Or there's also the sign in option right here. If I select sign in, that will also take us to Google Plus sign in. And then from here, you can select about Google, and that takes us here. Okay, and from about Google, we can scroll down to the bottom, scroll down to their footer, and you can see we've got stuff like contact us and help. If I select contact us, and then from here I can click the Google option up here, and that takes us to Google itself. So we've now got access to Google. If that link didn't work, then there's also help down here. I can select help, and from here there's also a link to Google right here, which I can select, and that also takes me to Google. So as you can see, even if the websites have changed a little bit when you're watching this video from when I recorded them, you can generally just look around the site and find external links till you get onto Google itself. So once you're on Google, what you want to do is search for the PS4 Playground. Now there's a couple of links that you can use to get onto the Playground. So one is f-x.fr, and I'll have this in the video description as well, so you can just copy it or note it down. So f-x.fr/PS4/. And if I search for that, we can see we've got a PS4 Playground link right here. So this is one of them that we can access. Now, other than this one, if I go back, you can also just search for PS4 Playground, and you'll also probably find what you're looking for. So if I search PS4 Playground, and then you can see you've got, so that one, I'm not sure what that, yeah, this one here, so extrememodding.de, so you can use this one as well, which has a code execution feature. You need to make sure, I mean, pretty much all versions of the WebKit exploit will have a code execution feature, but you also want to make sure that the WebKit Playground you're on is the 1.76 version, because there is a 3.55 version and possibly like a 4 point something version as well. So you want to make sure it's the 1.76 version that you're running. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the other link that was on before, because this one is a bit more stable, but both of them should probably work. So now that we've done this, we need to go ahead and close off our other tabs because they're using up system memory, so you need to make sure you close these ones off. So close that, you can keep going, close all of these tabs that we've opened up while we were trying to get onto the WebKit until we have no other tabs open but the WebKit Playground itself. Once we've done that, we can select Go on code execution, and it should say waiting for payload. Now if you get a out of system memory error, then just try again or refresh the page and keep trying until it says waiting for payload. So now that it says waiting for payload, we can go ahead over to the computer and inject our patch to make the browser work, the internet browser work on 1.76 without being signed into PSN. Okay, so now that we're back on the computer, what you want to do is download Netcat GUI and the web browser patch. These will be linked in the description. And all you want to do is open up Netcat GUI. This is just a little tool I made to send payloads over TCP sockets. There was a command line version of this that somebody else made, but I just made this because it should be easier to use. And make sure you type in your IP address in here. So this is the IP address of the PS4 that I told you guys to note down earlier on. So make sure you type that IP address in here. The port will be entered for you as 9023. And then you just want to drag the web browser patch into the payload file path section to load it in there. And then if I open up my capture card so I can show you what happens here, is all you do is you click inject payload. And there's a 2-second delay on the capture card, but you can see the payload, the code execution has now changed to say executing, because we have sent that payload over the network to the PS4 and it's now executing. So I'll go back over to the PS4 and basically show you guys what to do from there. Okay, so we're back on the PS4 now, and you can see it's still saying executing. Now that's because this is a pretty big patch that actually patches the kernel so that you can access the internet browser. You don't have to, execute this every time you switch on the PS4. This will patch the kernel and then that's it. The internet browser will work from now on without being signed into PSN. So it's a pretty big patch, and therefore it takes quite a long time to execute. So you can see it's still executing, and what you want to do is just leave it and wait. Do not back out of this page until it's finished executing. So just wait, and once you'll know when it's finished because it will just go back to saying not started. Okay, and that's it finished. So it's now gone back to saying not started, which means the patch has successfully been applied. So now that that's done, so now we can just go back onto the home page and start the internet browser, and unlike before where it said, whoa, you need to be signed into PSN in order to use this, well, now we can just access it straight away. We just click the button and boom, we're on. We have access to the internet browser, and now all you have to do is just add the PS4 Playground again as a bookmark in here. So f-x.fr/PS4, and I can just add that as a bookmark. And then if I wanted to add the other Playground link as well, I could also just create another tab, search for, so if I just go to Google, I can't remember the exact link for the other one. The other one's quite a long link, so I'll just head to Google and search for PS4 Playground again. So PS4 Playground, and it was this one here. So I can select this one and do the same thing, add that as a bookmark. And that's it. Okay, so that's it guys. So now whenever I want to use the WebKit Playground in the future, I no longer need to go into the user guide. I can just go straight into the internet browser, select one of my bookmarks, and I have access to the WebKit Playground. As simple as that. I can access the other one as well. So I have access to both of them right there. So that is how you do it. That is how you fully set up the WebKit exploit on 1.7 on a 1.76 PS4. If you liked the video or you found the information useful, go ahead and leave a like. I really do appreciate that, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, as I have a hell of a lot of other PS4 modding tutorials on my channel, along with 360 tutorials, PC tutorials, hardware tutorials, lots of different stuff. And go ahead and leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm shuffling.